The title may say Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but this is really Chadwick Boseman's movie. A 1, 2, you know what to do. Tensions rise between Ma Rainey, her ambitious horn player, and the white management determined to control the uncontrollable Mother of the Blues during a 1927 recording session. I was only about 5 minutes in before I started to wonder if this Netflix original was based on a play, because of the look, the feel, the rapid-fire dialogue, and sure enough, it's based on a play written by August Wilson. Viola Davis plays Ma. She doesn't take any crap off of anybody. At first I found her very grating. She was abrasive and pushy, and she wasn't resonating with me at all. And then she finally got a monologue, and my perception of her character completely changed. Davis is really, really good in this. I mean, she is wise and shrewd. As good as Viola Davis is as Ma in this, Chadwick Boseman really gets to shine. He plays Levy, the trumpet player in Ma's band, and he's on the younger side, and he's rash and he's arrogant. He gets a really engaging monologue, and he delivers it with such power and emotion that I am sucked into the character. But just like Ma, as time goes on, my perception of his character changes. But in this instance, it goes in the complete opposite direction of Ma. Boseman gets the majority of the screen time in this, and he chews through all of it. I love how this is filmed because the setting is so much like a play, but the camera is really up close to our characters at times. So we get to see tears almost forming in eyes. We get to hear whispers, and every single bit of it, we get to just feel the palpable tension that is building. And one of my joys to watch in any type of film is long, continuous takes. And they do several of them in this. And that's where we get to see the actor's skill really come into play. I mean, think of it. If this was a play, there's no messing up. And I love that because when they take the film version of this, they still treat it like the play. And they just keep going. And they have these long takes where it bounces back and forth between characters and dialogue. And it's so wonderful to watch. Now this is a tense watch, but it's not a thriller. I was stressed through a lot of it because of the dialogue and the dynamics between the characters. And if you listen, you hear the wisdom being shared by the older characters, and then you also get to see the naivety that is coming from the younger ones. And then throughout, you have the manipulation of the manager and the studio guy. They're exploitative, but they also try to make you feel like they're doing you a favor when they comply with what you're asking. It's really jacked up in the way that they do that. While there is some humor in this, the tone is dominated by tension, anger, and sadness. This didn't leave me all bright and cheery, but I was moved. There are many scenes that show the unjust treatment of Ma and her band just because they're black. Some of it is very overt, and some of it is a little more subtle, but not so much so that you have to dig to find it. I mean, it's not that subtle. It's still there, and it should make you angry. There are some scenes in this where the context is kind of lost on me. There are some reactions that are made towards Ma, and I can make assumptions as to why I think that they're there, but I don't have any concrete evidence. I get the sense that she's looked upon as strange or maybe an outcast, but there isn't any dialogue to support it. I just get the feeling from that scene, but I don't know why she would be looked upon in that way. It's almost like there was a little bit of backstory that wasn't provided, and that would have clued in some of this scenes that I'm talking about. One of them takes place in a hotel, and you see all of these reactions by the people in the hotel as Ma is walking by, and I'm kind of lost. Now, in addition to Boseman, I loved the other 3 members of Ma's band. They each have moments to shine in their own way. Sometimes it's through a little bit of wisdom. Other times it is sharing some sort of lesson. And other times it's through quietness. The movie is fairly short at 94 minutes, and it uses the time efficiently. The pace keeps the pressure on and doesn't really let up, even in the quieter moments. There's also sometimes a franticness to the action where we are just bouncing back and forth between characters, and that comes into play with a lot of the dialogue. And that also helps to keep that pressure, that emotion, that tension and stress going. And I love how the camera keeps up too, because as the characters are delivering their lines back and forth and you're just bouncing around, it's not just 2 people talking like this. I mean, you have multiple people all over the place. It's wonderful to watch, and I loved how we are right there in the middle of it to catch every word. I love the 2 sides of anger we see in this. One is coming from Ma and the other is from Levy. And both are justified. One is dealing with the here and now, and one is dealing with just issues of the past. And both are affecting the present. While this isn't the feel-good holiday movie you might be craving at the end of the year, this is filled with amazing performances and wonderful storytelling. It's supposed to leave you agitated and saddened, and it does. You don't want to miss it. There's sex but no nudity, a lot of profanity, and some violence. I give Ma Rainey's Black Bottom 4.5 out of 5 couches. So have you seen this one yet? I would love to know what you thought of it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.